Hey friends, I'm reading this article so you don't have to. It's called Where Nature Ends and Settlements Begin by Jumana Manna. And she's talking about the Palestinian relationship to foraging and herbs in the wild spaces in Palestine. We're up to this section called the Valley, where she talks about this beautiful valley where she goes to pick herbs with her mom. Here's a list of some of the plants that they talk about collecting. A mallow, some fennel, thyme, dandelion, bitterdock, black calla, cyclamen, wild asparagus, and then this special plant called a koob. Palestinian people have a very special relationship with this kind of thistle called a koob, which I'm probably not saying properly. So she reminds us that this area is what we learned about as the Fertile Crescent, and that a lot of the cultivated plants that we all consume around the world started out as wild plants in this area. And she says, the seasonal foraging practices here, as elsewhere, predate the rhythms of agricultural cultivation and state-imposed commercial sovereign interests. Collecting wild-growing food was the backbone of human survival for millennia, and continued to be a daily practice alongside agriculture for just as long. In recent years, foraging has seen a resurgence of popularity across much of the world. For some, it's a leisurely weekend activity, a way of being close to nature, and for others, a means of survival, a safety net in precarious times. And she goes on to say, it is for me an intimate practice that strengthened my sense of belonging and connection to the landscape. So she goes on to explain how she hears from a shepherd, a local shepherd, about a very plentiful stand of this very special thistle, which she says tastes like a cross between asparagus and artichoke. It is a culinary obsession for many Palestinians, the utmost delicacy. She also says that there are traces at Neolithic sites in the region that say that it's been consumed for at least 10,000 years. So this thistle has been put on a protected plant list by the Israel Nature and Parks Authority. So it seems like this plant is very difficult to cultivate. It likes to grow in wild places, and that's why people are drawn to go out into these wild places and gather it. So she describes in detail how it's used and how she and her mother gather it and process it. And she talks about her aunts that live in a different area in the north in Upper Galilee, and how, they had for so many years been doing that work of gathering and preparing it because it's a thistle. It's kind of prickly. So her aunts would just deliver this processed plant just ready to be cooked. She writes, only as an adult did I understand that my aunts, now in their 70s and 80s, are perpetual scofflaws. Picking a koob has been deemed illegal by the Israeli authorities since 2005. And if you ask Palestinians why that is, many would say that it is because Arabs like it very much. So in the next chapter, we're going to talk about the laws, not only in relationship to this thistle, but other plants that are regulated by the Israeli authorities. So tell me what you think. Do you have any questions or insights? Drop them in the comments.